pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Burnwald. Clark Hubbard here. Reeser. Yes. Myers. Here. And Todd is in Wisconsin. He could not be here this evening, so I am going to take the notes for the minutes. You guys have an agenda in front of you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Public comment on the agenda items. Should have some agendas floating around there, so it's really only one thing on there, so now would be the time to comment if you have a public comment on it. Okay, Jamie?
I just want to applaud you for holding a special meeting to discuss this and to support local government.
Anybody else?
Leslie Rideout,
Leslie?
Pine Township. I too am supportive of the resolution for local control. And thank you for holding this special meeting.
I think that's why we're all here.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'd ask it the same, thank you for holding it, and please help us get this taken care of, we appreciate it. Maple Valley Township.
Last call? All right, we're gonna close public comment and move right into our new business, which is the resolution related to local control for short-term rentals, industrial solar installations, industrial wind turbine installations, and sand and gravel mining. So if you were at our last meeting last week, we did have some citizens provide us with this template. And we had decided to wait until our next meeting, but in the interim, it appears that there's been an increased urgency to get these, for townships to consider these resolutions. Things are moving pretty quickly at the state level, it sounds like, and it sounds like the people want to know what the board thinks and are in general, it sounds like supportive of this, and it's an important issue for our community. This could potentially, what legislation they're discussing could have a huge impact on the whole landscape of our community. So special meeting was definitely warranted. I did talk to the MTA, who said that it's not uncommon when a big issue comes up like this in Lansing for townships to pass resolutions coming out in support or opposing something. They said the last big one was there was something on the gas tax several years ago when they said townships were doing this, and that they recalled. And they said that a lot of other townships they've heard are considering this resolution we have before us. My understanding is there's several townships in our area that have either already approved this resolution that we're considering, and several others that have called special meetings for this week to do the same. So I will go ahead and read this version because it was slightly different than the ones that were provided by the public, but I'll just buzz through it real quick here. A resolution expressing support to maintain local control over local land uses, including but not limited to short-term rentals, industrial solar installations, industrial wind turbine installations, and sand and gravel mining. Whereas local townships are best able to determine which uses should and should not be in their local communities and what plans are best and reasonable for each neighborhood, rather than having these decisions forced onto townships by the state government. And whereas the legislature of the state of Michigan may propose and attempt to pass into law bills that strip away local community control over local land uses, including but not limited to short-term rentals, industrial solar installations, industrial wind turbine installations, and sand and gravel mining. And whereas the board of Cato Township is committed to protecting our community's land from special interests trying to strip away local control. Now therefore, the board of Cato Township results as follows. Cato Township is opposed to the legislature of the state of Michigan proposing and passing bills that take away or otherwise limit local control over local land uses, including but not limited to short-term rentals, industrial solar installations, industrial wind turbine installations, and sand and gravel mining. Cato Township is opposed to the construction, operation, maintenance, repair, replacement, and decommissioning of industrial wind facilities, industrial solar facilities, sand and gravel mines, and similar uses in our community unless these projects comply with township ordinances and regulations. Cato Township supports the long-standing right of local community self-determination as provided by the laws and Constitution of the state of Michigan. As the members of the Board of Cato Township, we resolve to maintain the duties and responsibilities bestowed upon us as elected representatives by our constituents to execute their will to the best of our abilities in these matters. So let's move right into discussion on this. Well, I guess I'll start. I'm going to make a motion that we adopt this resolution as written, and then we can discuss it if we can get it to a second on it.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the resolution. So let's go into discussion. Obviously, I made the motion, so you can tell I'm in favor of this. I think local communities have to decide what's best for their communities. I mean, that's a major overreach to try to send these decisions to people that don't live around here.
Right, and for, if they come in and do this,
What's next?
what's gonna be next? So there will be no townships. There will be no township. We would not have control. So I definitely agree, that this needs to be done. And I'm hoping, and I've actually have sent this to, other townships myself, Cedar Springs, Algoma, they're looking to adapt this. And from what I heard, this has made it all the way up to Caramo. I'm not 100% who she is, but one of the Republicans up there. But yeah, so this is moving up the chain pretty fast, so.
Joyce, you have any thoughts?
Can I get a copy of that? I'm looking at my email, I don't see it attached. Here. Have mine.
Would have been in the Monday evening. I sent it out email
Last Monday?
this past Monday.
Okay, I'm looking at yesterday's. I just didn't see it ahead of time, sorry.
That's all right. David, you wanna?
Marcy said it right, if we don't stop it now, what's next?
And do you know when they're saying the rental part of that, are they talking like the Airbnbs?
Yes.
Okay, is that what they're talking about, Airbnbs,
Mhm.
VRBOs?
Yes,
Okay.
there's, yeah.
We definitely need to hold local control over that too. So that gives us the right to determine, those, because those are getting, a lot, very heavy, very heavy. And I
Yeah.
think they're just gonna be more and more come over the years.
I actually had somebody call a month or so about that, asking if we had an ordinance, so.
Right, and
That's-
right, and we, at this point, we don't have any type of ordinance for the rental.
No, we don't, and that's something I think the planning commission, among other things, we're gonna need to consider. It's just gonna become more prevalent, it's becoming more prevalent, so.
Yeah, I've sold a couple places on the lakes that are Airbnbs now, so.
And for what it's worth, obviously, he's not here, he can't vote, today, but I did briefly talk to Todd, and he said that, he, in general, supports local zoning. So obviously, he's not here to vote, but I just did wanna make a quick note of that, so. Any comments?
I don't have anything to add, I mean, you guys said it all, I mean, if we're not for local zoning, then what are we doing here on a board, so.
Valid question. So, if there's no more discussion, we'll do a roll call vote. Burnwald,
Yes.
Clark Hubbard, yes. Greaser,
Yes.
Myers?
Yes,
Yes, okay, motion carries 4-0. And, now the question, what do we do with it? the recommendation is to, not only send this to our Michigan, State House Rep, and Senator, which would be the Outmans, but to also send this to the MTA, the Senate Chair for the Energy and Environment Committee, the Vice Chair of the Energy and Environment Committee, the Chair of the Energy Communications and Technology Committee, they got a lot of committees, the Chair of Regulatory Reform, and then also the House Rep who is gonna be introducing this bill to take the local control away, and also the governor. So I plan on it. That'll go to Todd, he'll have to certify it after I give him the minutes, and then we can, and I've had a couple citizens also ask to get a copy of it, they would like to send it on also, but that is pretty much it. I did have one last public comment session for any other matters, if anybody has anything to say.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
I don't towards you guys, but to the crowd, we need to be contacting those people also. Not just them, not just the resolution, we need to be also contacting them and getting our voices heard, because we're the grassroots movement. We need to push this. And having their support is awesome and helps us, but we gotta also support them for what they're doing. So make sure to do your own letters and send them to these people also. So that's all I have to say.
All right, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Who was first? David and Marcy and David, okay. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.